Alright, we are back after a pretty long break. Um, Still a bit busy with real life stuff, but we're doing some just fun stuff. Oh, excuse me, so tired. Just some fun stuff this weekend. Um, I decided to hop on and play a few games of my Pauper Historic Brawl deck. We're playing Captain Ripley Vance, Mono Red. I'm just trying to be aggressive in Pauper Brawl. We're clearing out our dailies to get our rewards before the mastery ends for this season because I haven't really been paying attention to it. The basic idea is to get Ripley and crash through for big damage, clear their board. I probably have to update this. I haven't updated this in a while, so um, this is one we can play out early. Two drop, so we don't mind playing that out now. I don't even know what I'm going against here. Untap elf, seek an elf. Oh, okay, yeah, elf. Some sort of elf deck. Yep, okay, cool. What's this thing? When a creature you control becomes a target spell, controls. Oh, okay, so that's interesting. What is this gonna do? Can't be countered. Green spells can't be countered. So, okay. So not quite a threat just yet. It will be a problem for how many spells are going to draw as Captain Ripley keeps targeting him with stuff. Oh man. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't think I've played against an elf deck yet. Green does have a few things that like turn your creatures into nothing butters. So we do have enough here. Put it on Rip, of course. This helps us filter. We definitely want to get another land, so that's cool. Love it. Put that out. And that gives us a few things if we want to get bigger on stuff. I think we might just go straight through on people on this one. Get double scries off this. Let's think about it. Yeah. Make it really big. Yeah, sure. Cool. See if they're putting anything in the way. If they want to play something big, they're going to have to tap out. And yeah, we've got them dead on board unless they have some way to get my dude off the battlefield, because we'll intimidating rage. We'll play out our dude, and then in combat we'll play effigy, which will push us over 8 and go 8 direct damage straight to their face. So we don't really need to target their creatures with anything, which was nice. Normally, what I would do is just wipe the board of their creatures. Hey, see what's up. And what do? They play, if they have a big spell, unless it, like I said, unless it's something that wipes my dude out, right there, they play a big spell. I can kill it and crash through, or again, I can just attack for big damage and go straight to their face before they have a chance to really do anything. So that's kind of how the deck works. It plays pretty aggressive. If my opponent has good interaction with me, they will make it very difficult to win. But usually, if we got our land counts right and we just keep replaying Ripley, eventually we can churn through a lot of their removal and stick something late and just come for a big hit for the win. But we'll play a couple of these and go to the deck list and maybe see about things that we need to update, because I know I'm way behind. Ooh, mono red versus mono red. Okay, so this will probably be a tough one. And I'm going second, so yeah, this is probably going to be pretty tough. I think I'm going to expect a loss on this one, because who are they playing right off the get-go? Okay, yeah, alright, so let's play that out. Oh, we got a Kiln Fiend to soak up a threat. Okay, cool. I need to get that taken care of pretty quick. Wow. Okay. Cool. That's fine. Sure. Is this some good? What is this over here? Oh, that's so good. Okay. Cool. Interesting that they're not going to give it haste. That's, I think, a mistake. Because now we can... let's go straight up here. I don't think we need that right away. Cool. For that. Get rid of both of those. And they're done. Okay. Well, we got there. That's kind of why I like to play out those 2-drop threats ahead of time, is because you definitely want your more of your 1-mana stuff to really chain off on turn 4. But your 2-mana threats like Kiln Fiend and Festival Crasher and Burning Prophet, they will soak up a removal spell for you, and that's really what you want them to do, is just take something out of their hand and make sure that Captain Rip stays on the board, because she is amazing. So again, it's not the most exciting play, I don't think, because I think a lot of people, when they're paying brawl stuff, they like to build and do a lot of stuff. And with Pauper, I mean, you can do that. There's a few things that really can create a lot of hand advantage. The problem is I'm playing against normal historic brawl decks, and if I'm playing to any sort of mid-late game where you're building up, there's nothing that I can do that they can't just do better, right? So, that's tough. This is actually a tough keep because I've got a lot of two mana spells in my hand. The good thing is Raking Claws can be cycled away, which I'll probably do since I already have Temur Battle Rage in my hand, and that'll help me kind of get big on them. Okay, so life gain deck, fun. Which means they're probably playing enchantments that pacify me, which is a problem for this deck. We'll cycle it, see what else we get. They might even just be playing straight up like Mana Leak. You see that out of white decks oftentimes. Depends on what they put out here. Okay. That we would like to kill. So I think what we're going to do here is... okay, let's do this. Grayed out. And then we can play Skirk, Samus, Net. We'll keep that on the top. And then we'll play that. Just pull that off right now. Oh, and they're gone already. Okay. Yeah. Get ahead of them and able to knock off creatures. You can do a lot of damage really quick. And if all they were going to do is play out another creature next turn, then we had the win right there with enough to go with the Teamer Battle Rage and the Big Pump. So you get a lot of these. Like, I think playing this, usually what I do is, like when I have my red centered daily rewards, or daily quests rather, those I try to do with my Historic Brawler when I get a weekly reset, because this is a deck that you can very easily go 15-0 in against normal Historic decks. Again, it's just a matter of how much early interaction they have with you. I think I've gone 14-1 with the deck like multiple times, so it is really solid. This is good. We've got a lot of 1 mana spells and some withdraw, so this is perfectly fine. We do want to see another land, hopefully. If we don't see a land next turn, we might just Warlord's Fury to make sure we drop our dude on turn 3, but I don't think it's that big of a deal just yet. They're playing a 5-color. What are they playing? Slivers. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we can see another card. Nope. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we will put out Ginger Brute because Ginger Brute is a decent threat. Stone on land. Actually, we'll put out Skirt Prospector because that does give me a land to mess with. We'll put that out. We'll put out Skirt Prospector. So they've got 3 colors. That's why Skirt Prospector is in the deck, because it does doubles as a 1 mana play and it allows me to sack for 1 mana, which is good. Okay, cool. Alright. We do need to kill that thing off pretty soon. Okay. Looks like they're gonna, let's see, red, blue, white, green, black. Yep. They're gonna kill me off, I think, pretty quickly with slivers. Having 2 turns with no lands is definitely problematic. Cool. Alright. They got me with that. Okay, sure. Sure. Okay. Alright. So, we are going to... Let's go here. Gives it 4. We like that. I think what we want to do is now put that on it. And fingers on it. Get that done. So now we've got menace. And 5. He's got to put at least 2 in there. Sure, we'll put it there. Why not? We're okay with that. Sweet. Alright, now we got token. And we'll be done. Okay. Sweet. I get to draw a card. Cool. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll throw the chump in front of it. It's gonna be a tough one. Okay. Depends on which sliver he gets. What they get, maybe. Why don't they cast me? Alright, what's this? Sweet. Cancel before they do this. Let's... Come on now. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. We got 5 lands to work with. Shit. They got me. Oh, am I not allowed to concede? So close. Yeah, that's a tough one. Missing lands is pretty brutal at the beginning. If we hit lands, we can clear some of that stuff off. We don't have to worry about it. But, oh well. So that was cool. Slivers, neat. I like 5 color decks like that just because they can play like pretty much everything. But then obviously you don't have to worry about super powerful effects like that in Pauper, but we're playing Brawl, and that's the risk we take playing stuff like that. I don't think Slivers is necessarily like super competitive, so that's a pretty fun game to win, or to play rather. Would have been nice to eke out a win, but you know, they're holding double strikers. So any other slivers, I think well, no, because if they have the sliver that gives them flying, or you know, the beefed up stats, that can be brutal. Again, light on lands, but we're still okay. Actually got a 2-drop to play. Okay, we got our 3rd land, that's cool. Alright, limestone, cool. Get out profit because we value the scry over the pump of Crasher. Oh boy, this landscape, this should be fun. What is it? If a player has 20 more cards and you draw 3 cards. Oh, okay. Seems like fun. -3. Okay. Oh, they're just gonna take my dude. Sweet. Alright. That's fair enough. That was pretty bold considering. Well, I'll keep that on top. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, naked flare into a red deck. That was pretty bold, dude. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, but okay. I mean, I guess if they don't have any red damage spells, great. But I mean, I don't know. That was weird. I mean, that can be problematic. I mean, those are typically strong cards, right? Like cards that steal your guy, cards that lock your guy down. Don't send it to the command zone, and red just doesn't have much utility. You can't protect yourself. Something that turns it into a neutered card. That's why I run cards with sack effects, which will be probably why we run the new card out of the Lord of the Rings, the Improvised Club, since we can sacrifice a creature or one of the artifacts we have that we do run. So I think that'll be something that we definitely swap in here. This is fine for now. Again, I would love to see a third land in my first 2 turns, but we'll see how this goes. What are we playing against? Oh, boy. Okay, sure. Yeah, life gain decks are pretty. I mean, they're already really boring when you play like historic queue, and you get a lot of those in the historic queue. But I don't even know what this is. Good target opponent's game. You may exile a non-land card from it. Okay, sure, and it costs 3 more. Cool. What are you gonna exile me, dude? Okay, sure. No, let's put out the fodder just for shits and giggles. Cool. I'm guessing that this is going to be playing like a lot of sweepers, so this is going to be really unfun. This seems like it has a lot of interaction delay type stuff, slow type stuff, so I think we're going to be in for a pretty rough game here. Watch that. I'm assuming we have Mana Tithe just to be even better about it, but perfectly fine. Let's do that. Just wipe it off the board. Let's play that onto that. And let's play a neonate. Sure. As much damage as we can. I'm assuming they've got something that kills attacker. No? Okay. Yeah, that's a surprise. We've got a good amount of burn in hand. I mean, we've got him dead in hand right now. Sweet. Okay. This is no problem. So let's renegade tactics. Can't block. Sweet. Put that in there. Sacrifice. Discard. Submit one. Okay. Well, good thing they didn't get going. White life gain can be really problematic, especially when they have a ton of like their disruption, because I think that's probably some of the harder disruption to mess with. Is the white stuff. Anything that like leaves your guy in play but neuters it in some way is really difficult to deal with unless I have a sack effect, because it just kind of sits there and it can't do anything. I mean, I can do its ability, and that's cool. You know, I can still play 3 spells, grow it really big, and just do direct damage to things, and sometimes you can sneak through that way. But like the cards that like frogify it, or turn it into something that's not, those are really strong in Commander unless you have some way to sacrifice your own commander, and then when you do, it's going to be more expensive. So it's kind of a tough pull for red, but there are more things now that you can do that allow you to sack things, and I think it's important to run them if you're going to play something that is really dependent on the commander itself as opposed to the colors the commander gives you, because a lot of decks do that too. They just play really strong cards in the colors that you're playing, like Simic and Sultai, right? This is pretty typical. What you see is like so I've seen this commander quite a bit. Is this the mutate one? Oh no, this is the yeah. Okay, level 2. Sweet. Alright, so we're gonna just try and get out as quickly as possible. My gosh, this connection and the dogs went out. So we're gonna wrap this up probably after this one and do that. And do that. And go 3. Next. Alright, so let's sneak in there for a little chip damage, and then be ready to try and go off here on my next turn. It should be enough to win. My dog really wants out, so. Yeah, let's say kill off my commander right now. I think we're there. Okay. I don't know what this dude is. What does this dude do? Whenever you draw your second spell each turn. Okay. Cool. Yep, let's go straight through. Cannot block. They have a fog effect. They got me. Nope. Oh, damn it, go. Hey, girl. Dog's gonna sit up here with me for a second. I'm always gonna say no on these whenever these come up, regardless, because I'm not playing against another Pauper deck. So anytime one of those comes up and I'm not playing against a Pauper deck, I always say no, regardless of win, lose, or even if it was actually an enjoyable matchup, I always say no. For anybody else that cares about that. So I don't even. I mean, I've lost track of how many of these that we've played. We've got like what, five wins, one close loss, um, something like that. So I think this will be the last one to wrap it up. I think I've kind of made the point with the deck. We'll take a look at the deck and then think about things that I need to adjust. Obviously, I mentioned before, Improvise Club will need to go in once that's there. But I haven't touched this in quite a while. I don't even, gosh, I think I'm missing quite a few things. So we'll have to take a look and see. Like Krenko's Command can come out. I mean, it's nice to have little creatures and stuff, but I mean, if there's a better spell, there's a better spell. I don't know if I have my other new Reckless Impulse. So that's probably missing, I'm thinking. Okay, cool. Got another land. Got a couple of things that draw. Cards that replace themselves are definitely helpful. What are we playing against over here? I don't even know. Okay, cool. Then we'll get out ahead of them. Nice. I always like to get out ahead of my opponent when I'm playing RlP. It's a good thing about being, low on a mana curve. First strike creatures. Okay. Enter tapped. I think I'll just kill it now. That's a nice one. Frostbite. That's why we run the. I just gotta make sure that I put out my third snow cover mountain before I use it. Right? We gotta be careful about that. What's the other four? Okay, so not really relevant. Okay, so we're just gonna play that right out. That's perfectly fine. Let's put this out. We will Ancestral Anger. That. Cool. We will Synthesizer, which that was a mistake. Yeah, that was dumb. I mean, I should have played that first. And then we'll take Krenko's. And we'll put out two little dudes. And we'll attack. Yeah, that was piss poor play on my part. Gosh, man, I swear. Got so single track mind of sweet. Wait, what is this gonna take? I should have played next to target creature and we use the battlefield. Well, oh boy. Maybe they've got some combo. We'll decline. Sweet. So we will do this. We will frostbite that. not what we wanted to see. So we target artifact. Try to see this 4 damage. Target creature with flying. So I think what we do is we pop this. Put this out. Might as well. I should have thrown something in the way, but they would have put it all through. We're sneaky good. And that's why we run that goblin, right? And that's why dragon fodder still remains. But we'll think about that a little bit more. That was kind of a niche here. So let's take a quick look at the deck. A lot of cards. So we'll have to see about some things that... Oh, boy. Gosh. Okay, there it is. So let's take a look at where we are in the deck. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, you know, it's a mono-red deck. It kind of plays just like, you know, best of mono-red. You know, kind of burn. We'll definitely switch out the Dueling Rapier for the newer kind of clone of it, I think. But let's just kind of take a look. You want as much. Move this over. Okay. You want as much. So obviously, Captain Ripley Vance, whenever you cast your third spell each turn. So just keep in mind you can do this on your turn and your opponent's turn. Sometimes if you have 3 instants in hand, you need to pull that off on their turn. So keep that in mind that you can do that in some situations. It does come up. And then you just want a lot of 1 mana spells that are going to allow me to go off on things. So again, this is a good card. It enables your little goblin dude. Get you a card. Get you a card. Get you a trample. This is I run cloud damage because it's cheap and it allows me to sacrifice my guys to you know, like I was mentioning before, if you have something that nullifies or, you know, keeps Ripley in play but nullifies her ability, this is a good way to just get rid of her and get a little extra damage out of it. Again, another cantrip. Again, you want all your 1 mana cantrips basically. The Dueling Rapier is probably going to change to the new one because it's the same thing and it has a lower equip cost. Maybe we add a second one, I don't know, but a flash that gives you 2 and is a artifact to remain in play to sacrifice to the improvised club, I think is going to be pretty important in the festivities, because you do get swarm decks and it does hit them for 1, which will put your Skewer the Critics online for cheap. Obviously Experimental Synthesizer, even though we played that really poorly in those games. Firebrand, it's a goblin. It's got haste, gives you a little bit of ping potential. You can sacrifice it to your other thing. Frostbite, that's obviously why we're running the snow-covered lands to make sure we have another 3 damage spell. Instant speed, targets our creatures. Got our Blast Runner, great card. Also another goblin. That one could probably come out for something else. This guy I kind of like just because he is a decent. Is a decent blocker. Right? You know, you can first strike. They get a little scared because you do run pumps. Neonate is. Wait, dang it. Man, I hate looking at this. There's too much to look at. But basically, God, this is so tough to look at. I'm gonna mess this up. But basically, you have pretty much any 1 damage spell. You're looking at things that cantrip, things that are cheap, things that give good pumps, things that have good utility. Effigy destroys artifacts and gives you a 2/2. So I do run that in there. And then you're looking at, obviously you saw cards like Raking Claws and Teamer's Battle Rage. One that, okay, my dog is flipping out. We gotta take out. One that people miss sometimes is, where is it? This one's actually really good, Wedding, because you can make it unblockable if you need to, and draw a card. But again, not necessity. Obviously, filtering effects, good. Reckless Impulse, I gotta add the new one. Obviously, we have our Kiln Fiend, our Fire or Flame Breather. I don't run the Tapper just because I'm not typically doing a lot of. You're typically just setting it out there, and it doesn't really provide any offense. I want to have things that I can turn and swing with. But there it is. Oh yeah, this is the one that people miss with Captain Ripley. It's another way to give yourself double strike, because she is a pirate. She gets +1/1 and double strike, so that's a good little trick. If you haven't played Captain Rip Vance, knows that she is a pirate, so that is important. And then I think the only big spells I have are ones that you can reduce to make cheaper, so we can discard it with things. Spectacle, obviously great. Merchant of the Veil is really good because it gives you, again, 2 spells. I hardly ever play the actual Merchant. Sometimes I do when I'm late game in games that actually do push late, but early on it's a 1 mana cantrip, and that's important. We'll probably get Faithless Looting in here. And mess around with a few other things like that, but we gotta do some updating to it. But that's kind of the basic idea of the deck. I don't want to discard my changes because I took out my Neonate. I like the Neonate because, again, it lets you cycle a little bit deeper. It's got Menace, you can ping for a little bit, so that's kind of it in a nutshell. Not super exciting, pretty straightforward, but those are the decks I tend to play on here, just because if I play anything with too much too many interaction points, my phone starts to have some difficulty with that. So hope you liked it. Not much talking. We'll try and do better next time, but if historic Pauper Brawl is your thing, that's a good starting point for an aggressive version of a deck. Maybe we'll do something that's a little different next time, and catch you later.